600,000 electric cars to be produced by 2030. Trade Ministry to evaluate the highest retail price of rice. Hello, good evening viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business, economic and capital market sectors. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we'll provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands and having less mobility. And with me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headlines. Let's start market headline. The government is planning to boost the production of electric cars, battery-based electric cars to 600,000 units and electric motorcycles to 2.45 million units by 2030. As part of efforts to boost BEV industrialization, the government has provided fiscal as well as non-fiscal incentives, including 0% sales tax on luxury goods and 0% vehicle ownership transfer fee for electric vehicle consumers in Jakarta, the minister informed. The BEV industry could benefit from government incentives such as tax holidays or mini tax holidays, tax allowances and super tax deductions for research and development. To promote the use of electric vehicles, the government will issue a roadmap for electric vehicle use in state institutions, he informed.
Indonesia juga telah menyatakan kesiapannya untuk memasuki era kendaraan listrik melalui penerbitan Perpres 55 tahun 2019 tentang percepatan program kendaraan bermotor listrik berbasis baterai atau Battery Electric Vehicle untuk transportasi jalan. Pemerintah telah menargetkan produksi BEV pada tahun 2030 dapat mencapai 600.000 unit untuk roda 4 atau lebih, serta 2,45 juta unit untuk roda 2. Produksi kendaraan listrik diharapkan mampu menurunkan emisi CO2 sebesar 2,7 juta ton untuk roda 4 atau lebih, dan sebesar 1,1 juta ton.
Minister of Health Budi Gunadi Sadikin ensured that prospective Hajj and Umrah pilgrims who received the Sinovac COVID-19 vaccination could still carry out their worship in Saudi Arabia. However, there is an additional requirement that prospective pilgrims must comply with, namely to undergo a 5-day quarantine upon arrival in Saudi Arabia. Previously, Minister of Foreign Affairs Retno Marsudi announced that Indonesian pilgrims could return to perform the Umrah pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia. Based on diplomatic note from the Saudi Arabian Embassy in Jakarta on October 8, 2021, Retno informed that a special committee in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is lobbying for all obstacles that prevent the possibility of Indonesian Umrah pilgrims being unable to perform the worship.
Jadi pertukaran dari menteri di Arab Saudi, kebetulan menteri hajinya baru, dan itu adalah bekas Menkes. Jadi teman-teman saya itu baru dipromosi jadi Menteri Haji dari Menteri Kesehatan. Dan saya sudah beberapa kali melakukan pembicaraan via telepon dan meeting sekali di rumah dengan beliau. Dan beliau memang janji untuk membantu. Sampai sekarang memang Sinovac bisa dipakai tapi harus ada karantina. Jadi karantina 5 hari.
Soekarno-Hatta Airport recorded 56,085 international passengers arriving between September 19 and October 16. The airport senior manager of branch communication and legal said that most of the international passengers are migrant workers.
Indonesia's Soekarno-Hatta International Airport recorded 56,085 international passengers arriving in Cengkareng between September 19th and October 16th. Of that number, 29,270 passengers underwent quarantine at Wisma Atlet and 26,815 self-quarantined at the hotel. The airport's senior manager of branch communications and legal, M. Holik Muardi, said the most of the international passengers are migrant workers. As mandated by the Transportation Ministry, the passengers took RT-PCR tests upon arrival at the airport. After testing negative for COVID-19, they conducted a centralized quarantine for 5 times 24 hours. To be able to quarantine at Wisma Atlet, a passenger must either be an Indonesian migrant worker, students returning to Indonesia after studying or carrying out study assignment abroad, or a government employee returning to Indonesia after an official trip abroad. IDX Channel report.
And we're moving on to global update. Netflix estimates that its latest mega hit, Squid Game, will create almost $900 million in value for the company. Meanwhile, Facebook to hire 10,000 workers to build new computing platform, Metaverse. More stories on today's International Minute.
Netflix estimates that its latest mega hit Squid Game will create almost $900 million in value for the company, according to figures seen by Bloomberg, underscoring the windfall that one mega hit can generate in the streaming era. Netflix differs from movie studios and TV networks in that it doesn't generate sales based on specific titles, instead using its catalog and a steady drumbeat of new releases to entice customers every week. North Korea has fired at least one ballistic missile into waters off the coast of Japan, South Korea and Japan's militaries have said. It comes as South Korea, Japan and U.S. intelligence chief reportedly met in Seoul to discuss North Korea. In recent weeks, Pyongyang has embarked on a flurry of tests of what it claims to be hypersonic and long-range cruise missiles and anti-aircraft weapons. Some of these tests violate strict international sanctions. Facebook said it plans to hire 10,000 workers in the European Union across the next 5 years to work on a new computing platform that promises to connect people virtually, but could raise concerns about privacy and the social platform gaining more control over people's online lives. The company said in a blog post on Sunday that those high-skilled workers will help build the metaverse, a futuristic nation of connecting online that uses augmented and virtual reality. China's economy grew at the slowest pace in a year in the 3 months that ended in September, buffeted by power shortage, supply bottlenecks, and sporadic outbreaks of COVID-19, increasing pressure on policymakers amid rising concerns about the health of the property sector. Data released on Monday showed gross domestic product grew 4.9% in the third quarter compared with a year earlier, the slowest since the third quarter of 2020. IDX Channel reports.
Market headlines will be right back. Stay tuned with us.
Awalnya nggak langsung yakin, tapi setelah ikut 2 kali acara edukasi Bursa Efek, akhirnya tertarik juga.
Karena mudah, saya ajarkan ibu-ibu lain, sampai anak saya juga ikutan.
Selesai dagang, saya bawa 100.000 untuk nabung saham. Hasilnya jelas sekali.
Yuk kita nabung saham sekarang.
Seiring meluasnya cakrawala investasi di tengah pasar saham yang dinamis. Analisa mendalam diperlukan untuk menemukan saham berorientasi value yang menghasilkan kinerja yang tinggi. IDX Channel akan mengulas isu pasar dan pergerakan saham terkini. Saksikan ulasannya bersama analis terpercaya hanya di IDX Channel.
Ya halo pemirsa, nama saya Mangivera Tjong. Saat ini saya menjabat sebagai presenter dan juga associate producer. Saat ini saya membawakan program IDX Session Closing, di mana di program tersebut saya menganalisa isu-isu ekonomi yang menarik, baik dari luar negeri maupun juga dari dalam negeri. Tentunya hingga saat ini saya masih terus belajar dan saya sangat menikmati profesi tersebut.
Indeks harga saham gabungan ditutup melemah pada perdagangan sesi pertama hari ini. Harga minyak jenis Texas Intermediate atau WTI turun 41 sen menjadi 67,95 dolar Amerika per barrel.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. Statistics Indonesia or BPS stated that residents' activities in places of shopping and daily necessities recovered and increased in September 2021 from August, when high-level public activity restrictions were imposed amid the pandemic. Residents' activities in places of shopping and daily necessities recovered and increased in September 2021 from August, when high-level public activity restrictions or PPKM were imposed amid the pandemic. Statistics Indonesia or BPS head Margo Yuwono stated.
Kalau kita melihat mobilitas penduduk pada tempat perdagangan, retail dan rekreasi, ini angkanya mengalami perbaikan, ya minus 1,9 dibanding bulan Agustus yang 12,4, berarti mobilitas penduduk di tempat perdagangan dan rekreasi ini mengalami perbaikan, meskipun belum pada kondisi normal. Tentu saja informasi ini akan berpengaruh kepada aktivitas ekonomi dan pada akhirnya juga berpengaruh kepada berbagai indikator nanti yang akan dirilis baik pada hari ini maupun pada rilis di PDB bulan depan.
In addition, Margo pointed to an improvement in community activities and mobility in various other public facilities, including mobility of the population in trade, retail and recreation areas, the figure for which had improved to minus 1.9%. Margo highlighted an improvement in mobility at work in September 2021, although the figure was still at minus 15.9, which means the mobility of the population at work was not yet as per normal conditions. Margo remarked that the population mobility data was processed by BPS from Google Mobility. IDX Channel reports. G20 trade ministers reaffirmed their commitment to contribute to the economic recovery from COVID-19. The commitment, as stipulated in a joint statement issued at the G20 Trade and Investment Ministers meeting in Sorrento, Italy. G20 trade ministers reaffirmed their commitment to contribute to the economic recovery from COVID-19, as stipulated in a joint statement issued at the G20 Trade and Investment Ministers meeting in Sorrento, Italy. Lutfi said that Indonesia is ready to bear the responsibility of G20 presidency in 2022, while ensuring that all members could recover together and grow stronger next year. This year's meeting has also become an opportunity for Indonesia to encourage the world to recover and revive together from the COVID-19. While opening the G20 TIMM, Italian Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Luigi Di Maio underscored the challenges of global economic recovery that require concrete action from all G20 members, including in the trade and investment sector. To this end, TIMM discussed several topics related to trade and investment policies, trade and health, trade and environmental sustainability, micro, small and medium enterprises, participation in the world trade, services and investments, the government support specifically in the industry sector, and WTO reform. IDX Channel reports. The Ministry of Trade received directions from the Ombudsman to evaluate and resolve problems related to the highest retail price of rice. The Ombudsman asked for three aspects of the highest retail price that need to be evaluated, namely those related to the amount, sanctions, and labeling. The Ministry of Trade received directions from the Ombudsman to evaluate and resolve problems related to the highest retail price of rice. Previously, the Ombudsman asked for three aspects of the highest retail price that need to be evaluated by the Ministry of Trade, namely those related to the amount, sanctions, and labeling. Minister of Trade Muhammad Lutfi said currently the highest retail price of rice in Indonesia is already higher than international. That's why he said, if the highest retail price is raised, it will be the community that will be sacrificed.
Kan ikut dengan harga internasional. Saya nggak mau kasih harga beras lah, karena agak sulit di sini. Karena biasanya harga HET kita itu sebenarnya jauh dibandingkan dengan harga internasional yang jauh lebih rendah. Jadi kalau ini harganya naik terus, ini yang dikorbankan kan juga sebenarnya rakyatnya, gitu kan. Jadi ini masalah yang sebenarnya delicate, halus yang mesti kita perhatikan, dinamika-dinamikanya supaya terjadi keadilan seperti Bapak utarakan tadi. Jadi saya akan perhatikan Bapak, dan mudah-mudahan dalam 14 hari sesuai dengan undang-undang kita akan melaksanakan koreksi-koreksi.
However, Lutfi said the Ministry of Trade will consider this issue and discuss it within a specified time. Meanwhile, Ombudsman member Yeka Hendra Fatika assessed that the highest retail price needs to be evaluated because it is related to justice. IDX Channel reports. PLN has completed all requisite preparation to provide electricity to the Mandalika International Street Circuit that will host the last series of the 2021 World Superbike. PLN Regional Business Director for Sulawesi, Maluku, Papua and Nusa Tenggara provinces Syamsul Huda informed that it had completed the commissioning task as the final electricity preparation stage. Earlier, the company had completed building the electricity infrastructure at the end of August 2021, while the task was conducted in September 2021. Furthermore, Lombok Island has an adequate electricity grid to supply an average peak load of 270 megawatts and available power capacity of 376.8 megawatts for the event. For implementation of the 2021 World Superbike and 2022 MotoGP, PLN has made preparations for a zero downtime scenario that entails a multi-layer electricity supply system to avoid any disruption as well as to maintain the reliability and quality of electricity in the Mandalika area. In addition to the 3 lines that are currently ready to operate, the company is preparing an uninterruptible power supply to support the zero downtime scenario. Stay with us because market headlines will be back after this quick break with information from the capital market.
Ya, halo, selamat pagi.
Saya adalah salah satu kandidat yang akan bekerja di perusahaan Bapak.
Oke, baik.
Terima kasih. Perkenalkan, saya Kana Meria.
Lagi interview kerja koneksi internet buruk. Makanya, pakai MNC Play. Hanya 7 ribuan per hari. Bisa internetan dengan speed hingga 70 Mbps. Yuk, pilih paket internet dan tontonan favoritmu sekarang. MNC Play.
Hai sahabat investor, kalian ingin tetap bisa menabung meskipun keadaan keuangan kalian sedang sulit? Dengerin tips berikut ini ya. Kita masuk ke tips yang pertama ya. Nah, yang pertama, kalian harus memenuhi semua kebutuhan rutin kalian terlebih dahulu nih. Barulah setelah itu kalian bisa mengalokasikan pendapatan kalian untuk memenuhi kebutuhan pelengkap lainnya. Kita masuk ke tips yang kedua ya sobat investor. Jadi penting sekali bagi kalian untuk menutup hutang sesuai dengan kemampuan kalian. Selain itu, kalian juga perlu menentukan utang mana yang harus kalian dahulukan untuk dilunasi. Selain itu, penting juga untuk selalu menyesuaikan dengan uang tunai yang kalian miliki. Tips selanjutnya yaitu tips yang ketiga. Jadi kalian penting sekali untuk menekan biaya bulanan nih sobat investor. Jadi kalian juga memang harus memangkas kebutuhan yang memang sifatnya hanya pelengkap saja. Dan penting sekali bagi kalian untuk mempertahankan biaya bulanan yang sifatnya memang untuk kebutuhan utama kalian. Tips yang keempat terkait dengan pengelolaan aset. Jadi jika ternyata penghasilan yang kalian miliki ini tidak bisa menutup kebutuhan kalian, maka kalian bisa mempertimbangkan untuk menjual aset yang kalian miliki. Tips yang kelima, jangan lupa sisihkan sekitar 10% dari penghasilan kalian untuk ditabung di tiap bulannya. Dan saat keadaan keuangan kalian sedang sulit, tidak menjadi alasan untuk gagal mencapai impian. Jangan lupa ya, harus selalu rajin dan juga disiplin dalam menabung sobat investor.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, Jakarta Composite Index was open at the level of 6,646.58 and then approaching the closing time on the first session. The index was on the level of 6,628.68 and then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at level 6,655.99. And in short, Jakarta Composite Index went down 0.04%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got cyclic sector that went up 0.9%. Transportation and logistic went up 0.79%. Meanwhile, technology went down 1.57% and energy went down 0.59%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Bank Negara Indonesia went up 2.12% to the level of 7,225 rupiah per share. Arto went up 2.98% to the level of 30,825 rupiah per share. Aneka Tambang went up 0.8% to the level of 2,530 rupiah per share. And Pigas went up 0.3% to the level of 1,560 rupiah per share. And from top gainers, we're moving on to top losers. The top losers for today's trading, we got Bank Sentral Asia went down 0.33% to the level of 7,500 rupiah. Bank Rakyat Indonesia went down 0.23% to the level of 4,400 rupiah. Bukalapak went down 2.13% to the level of 690 rupiah per share. And Telkom went down 1.32% to the level of 3,740 rupiah. And next, let's see the movement rupiah towards US dollar open at the level of 14,068 rupiah, showing weakening trend towards US dollar. And was closed at the level of 14,124. In summary, rupiah went down 0.52%. Bank Aladdin Syariah plans to conduct a rights issue by issuing a maximum of 2 billion shares with a value of 100 rupiah per share. Bank Aladdin Syariah has scheduled additional capital through a rights issue of 2 billion shares to be carried out in December. Based on information disclosure, Bank Aladdin Syariah plans to increase capital by as much as 2 billion new shares with a value of 100 rupiah per share. The rights issue amount is equal to 13.12% of the issued and fully paid up capital. The rights issue plan has been approved by the extraordinary general meeting of shareholders held on May 28, 2021. Furthermore, the company targets to be able to get the effective statement of rights issue on November 25, 2021. Meanwhile, the preemptive rights trading period is scheduled for December 9 to 16, 2021. For information, the capital structure and composition of Bank Aladdin shareholder as of September 30, 2021 consisted of Aladdin Global Ventures at 60.33%, Kasai Universal 6.15%, and the public 33.52%. IDX Channel reports. Until the end of September 2021, PP Presisi booked a new contract worth 4.7 trillion rupiah, or 130% of the total target for this year. Until the end of September 2021, PP Presisi booked a new contract worth 4.7 trillion, or 130% of the total target for this year. The company estimates that in the remaining 3 months of this year, it can achieve new contracts of around 700 billion rupiah to 1 trillion rupiah. PP Presisi Director Wira Zuhrial stated the achievement of the new contract until the end of the third quarter of 2021 is equivalent to a growth of 241%. In September 2021, the company can add to the acquisition of new contracts of 1.2 trillion rupiah from the Coal Mine Hauling Road Development Project owned by Marga Barajaya Jambi. The acquisition of new PP Presisi contracts is dominated by the mining services line at 49.5%, civil work at 43.6%, and the rest comes from production plant, structure work, and the rental at 6.9%. Furthermore, Wira estimates that in the fourth quarter of 2021 alone, the company can add new contracts of around 700 billion to 1 trillion rupiah. IDX Channel reports. And step aside from market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here it is an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia.
The company's capital expenditure will mostly be dispersed for the rental business, namely to buy new cars. Even so, until now, ASA has not set the amount of capital expenditure for 2022. Project explained that this year, Adisarada has budgeted a capital expenditure of around 1.2 trillion rupiah to 1.5 trillion rupiah, where the largest capital expenditure allocation for the purchase of rental business fleets is around 1.2 trillion rupiah to 1.5 trillion rupiah. Furthermore, 120 billion rupiah will be disbursed to the auction business line for the purchase of land as well as the construction of facilities and infrastructure for auction needs. Until September 2021, the capital expenditure absorption was recorded at 450 billion rupiah, and most of it was used to purchase new cars for rental business. And currently, the company has around 27,000 cars. IDX Channel reports.
And step aside from market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here is an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. And to prevent the spread of COVID-19, always wear a mask and get vaccinated immediately. Masks have been shown to reduce the risk of transmission by 80%, while vaccines minimize the risk of death by 73%. So let's wear a mask and get vaccinated because masks and vaccines keep us healthy and happy. And I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
awal mulanya tuh membangun Nona Rara Batik ini gimana sih ceritanya? Apa mungkin